Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to USVA History Review by Standard. Again, glad you keep coming back. Today is the first video of the times that we're actually going to split up the Standard into separate videos because it's a little bit too long for the 15-minute time limit that I do have. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into Standards 4A and 4B. So we're leading ourselves up until the American Revolution. We're going to talk today about the ideas of John Locke, Thomas Paine and Common Sense, and then the Declaration of Independence. So this is all the sort of theoretical background to the American Revolution. So here's all the stuff you need to know about John Locke. Not even an American, we need to know a heck of a lot about him. Right? Some more parts about the Declaration of Independence, and then key principles within the Declaration. Okay, let's get right into it. So John Locke is an Enlightenment thinker, 17th and 18th century Europe, period of time where ideas about people, not rulers, were going over that of government and rulers and things like that. This is where ideas flourish and blossom and just grow due to more people realizing that they should have some political power too. John Locke is one of those philosophers whose ideas trickle over to America, and people are like, we should do this too, and we're just starting out, so let's do this. These went against old and traditional values. So kings and queens do not like this. Old dictatorships are not going to like these kinds of beliefs. So not good for John Locke. He was not a popular guy with the rich and the elite. He wrote, "All people are free and have the right to life, liberty, and property. Power resides with people and must enter a quote-unquote social contract with their government, where people make the government and promise to follow laws, order, liberty. There should be a conversation between government and people. Governments or powers are limited to what people grant them. So that means people are creating those powers for the government. If government goes above those limits, the people can overthrow it." Big talk about the Second Amendment, but we'll get there when we discuss the Constitution. So Thomas Paine, a believer in a lot of these ideas, writes a pamphlet called Common Sense. He uses a lot of these ideas, and it challenges the rule of the American colonies by England, saying, hey, look, you, first of all, have nothing to do with us here in America. You should not be ruling us, and we have no say even to get things changed. So not a good thing. This was widely read. It was easy to transport. It was a little pamphlet. You could pass it from town to town. The printing press has become a major mode of literature and paper printing all across the colonies. So this was read by a lot of different people. Contributed to a growing sentiment for independence from Great Britain. That with the Great Awakening, which we just talked about in the last unit. Standard, with challenging the religious order or challenging any order, you have a growing sentiment where let's get away from Britain. So a lot of people come together, smart people, and write our Declaration of Independence. It's written by a Virginian, Thomas Jefferson, our third president, and it's going to reflect those ideas that John Locke had and Thomas Paine wrote in Common Sense. And here's some specific language that you need to be able to pull out. That we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So again, you need to know what that statement means, and essentially that everybody's created free and we should have power. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Again, that idea that we should be in a social contract with our government. We should make the laws, and the government should uphold them. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government. Again, we should be able to overthrow our government if we need to do so. Jefferson then wrote many of the grievances against the king, mirrored what Paine setting common sense. So he writes not only the Declaration of Independence, but then writes to the king and says, hey, we don't like this about you. All right, so some key principles in the Declaration of Independence. Increase political, social, and economic participation over time. So this standard wants you to understand that, yes, it's written in the Declaration of Independence, but it's going to be an incredible journey in which the American people are going to take with each other. Not everybody, as was said, is going to be looked at as equal. That includes women. That includes African Americans. That includes the homosexual and LGBT communities today. Right? We're talking about different groups that have been persecuted but are now gaining their freedom. It's sort of a change over time. Political. It extends the franchise, the vote, to people who don't own land. Eventually that's going to extend to women and, again, African Americans and all that kind of stuff. It upholds due process of law. There's an order in which things have to go in. You can't just say, oh, well, we don't like you today, so you're going to go to jail. That's not how it works anymore. And we're also going to provide a free and public education to everybody. Social. The abolishment of slavery is going to happen, and much of the abolitionist movement is going to be based on the fact that in the Declaration of Independence it says everybody's created equally. And it's obvious that we were not upholding that bargain as Americans to the African American community. It also extends civil rights to women and other groups, which I have already just mentioned. Economic, regulating the free enterprise system. This document says that government's job is to uphold the things that we already have, promotes economic opportunity for people, and also protects property rights. We have that right to property. All right, like I mentioned, this was a very a quick thing because we are splitting up the standard into separate videos. So this was standards A and B, leading us up until the Revolution. Next time we'll talk about more of the fighting that happened within the Revolution. All right, see you next time.